Well, hello there, Luke.
I don't know how you want to start this thing this time.
I'm immediately going to apologise. There's building work going on outside, so if you hear any disturbance, that's going to be that.
Is this the building work?
It's not fun. It's very loud.
Didn't you mention something about builders 2 weeks ago? Same people?
Possibly. Yeah. It's all the way through to December.
Oof.
So, literally, as long as I'm still here, which I only think is actually 3 weeks now.
3 more weeks. So just when lockdown ends.
Yeah, because I think there's some new rules that have been rumoured on the internet that there's going to be like a 5-day long stretch or a 6-day long stretch or something that students can go home in for Christmas, which means I need to do all of my animation work in 3 weeks. Because I'm not taking my PC with me.
I'm just ignoring that rule because it doesn't take into consideration people like us, like
who live on their own.
I've got deadlines in the week after that.
Yeah,
I've got to be here. I don't have any other choice, so my brother will just come pick me up. But I don't really have I can't just go home. I can't just take all my stuff home. It's a full-on setup, desk, monitor arms, PC, all of the stuff that I need to actually work on is just insane. So
I don't know if I'm gonna be taking my PC home because I'm just gonna take my laptop and struggle.
I'll be taking.
But yeah, I don't know if I'll be going home a little bit earlier now because, like you say, all of the deadlines and everything are on like the 12th to the 14th.
Mine's the 18th, which is actually the day that my brother was picking me up. So I was going to submit it on the 17th. And it's modelling, so
How are you doing with that?
I started it maybe last week on the weekend. I made Batman's legs and Batman's torso rough shape and one of his arms, but I fucked the arm pretty badly, so I might have to start that again. It's I don't know. I've never done I've never modelled a person, and to be honest, you're not meant to box model people. But ZBrush doesn't have a student version, so they're making us do a box model, and it's just awful. I hate it. So
yeah,
we'll just see how it goes. Dumb. I don't really care about the grade in it. I also just found out that in the one lesson I was enjoying, I have to use a nav mesh for my movement. When I read the brief, it said you have to use a nav mesh, and I was like, okay, I'll make WASD movement because that's the most controllable and most fun on a PC, and then I'll use a nav mesh to say player can go here, player cannot walk here. I'm using a nav mesh. I emailed in because my demonstrator was like, I would just check, and he was like, no, you need to have a click to move movement system. Already it's a collectathon game, which is boring as fuck. I don't want to do a click to move. It's boring. I don't enjoy that. And making that's gonna suck.
Your task is to remake the glory days of Club Penguin.
Yeah, my task is to remake the glory days of things that we moved on from because they were shit. And the worst part is I've already made my player controller completely. I've got to start that all over again, and that's basically where I've put all of my time. But what I was doing was harder anyway, so I could probably do it in a day or less than. But the annoying thing is that I was going to put a jump mechanic and a glide mechanic because there's a dragon in it game with a glide. I can't do that with a click. I can't do any of that. So that's all of that extra work that would have got me marks that I just can't do anymore. So
yeah,
bit annoying. Not a bit annoying. I'm pissed off.
Screwed over by the system, basically.
So now that's 3 modules this semester, which is all of them I don't like. So yeah.
Wow, well, it sounds like you're having a great time.
No, I hate this semester so far. This year has been awful so far, and COVID has nothing to do with it. It's just awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh man,
how's your course going? Haven't you meant to be starting 3D modelling?
Yeah, so I haven't actually been able to go to any of those lessons because of COVID. I am back in full-on lockdown.
Again, yeah.
I believe you are as well.
I am, yeah.
Yeah, we're lockdown cousins.
Yeah.
So yes, someone in my flat has come back positive with COVID-19, so they are social isolating in their room. They're allowed in the kitchen with masks on and all of that stuff, but only for a limited time, just so that she can get food and stuff, because all of us are too lazy to go and get it for her. And it has caused such a big divide in the flat. So I don't know if a previous family gathering, I'd have probably said the flat gets on really well. Everybody's super nice, super content.
Oh yeah.
The moment somebody actually gets a positive case of COVID-19, everybody's just turned against her. Really, everybody sort of like turned around and was like, no, she's not allowed in the kitchen, literally to the point where they'll be making noise in the corridor, which is a public space, quite early in the morning, and she'll poke her head out and be like, hey, do you mind, I'm trying to get some sleep, and they'll look at her from like 3 meters away and go like, and I'm like, if you wore a mask all the time, then that wouldn't be it. She's feeling very like alienated at the moment, which is understandable, but her and her roommate basically have to social distance from us, and they're both feeling pretty isolated. They are feeling they're getting like weird headaches because they've been in the same place for so long, apparently, which is
I can get that.
I didn't know that was
stagnant air sort of thing. I don't know. Always watching a screen. They can't leave the house. What they're doing, just on a screen, probably. Like,
So I basically had to 2 days ago. I posted on Twitter. Follow me. I think it's untempered_prod or something.
I'm pretty sure it's in the description that I use anyway. I have our socials.
Okay, cool. Basically, I put on Twitter that I was having a bit of a rough day, so I decided to stream.
Which worked, which is great.
Worked.
Oh, hang on. I was getting some frame drops. We're good. I think we're back. Yeah, which worked. Thank you.
I'm able to stream, so I'm able to stream. I'm trying to stream for like a week straight every day to get back into the groove of things, and then I'll come up with some sort of actual thing, because at the moment streaming in the evenings is best for me, just because that's when nothing is going on. But yeah, basically I had to stand in. Half of the flat had like one idea on how to cope with one person having COVID-19. The other side of the flat had COVID-19, so it was
civil war.
So I had to literally. I felt like I compared it to the Treaty of Versailles, and,
I don't know about that.
Abby was Germany getting screwed over, and we were the rest of the world. But I had to like kind of step in and be like, hey, it's a bit unfair that they aren't allowed in the kitchen at all. This is their home. We are a flat. Like, we should be coexisting together. I'm aware that she has COVID-19. I've asked her to stay away from social distance from us as much as possible, but I'm not going to restrict her from coming into the kitchen, because it's getting food is kind of a basic human right, you know? So I put one thing in the chat on it, and it was like the longest paragraph, the speech ever. I was super proud of it. I screenshotted it, sent it to my mum, was like, there you go. And everything's been a little bit tense since, but you know, everybody's going by the rules that I have set, which is quite nice. It's nice that they respect me in that way.
Yeah, well, I think you were the only one who wasn't just blatantly arguing for no reason.
Yeah, and speaking out of anger, it was a lot of stuff being spoken out of anger.
Just to break down those two sides, what did the people who didn't have COVID thought? Like, what did they think they had to do? What did they think social distancing was to be?
So when Abby took the test and everything, because she wasn't feeling very well, Abby opted to stay in her room and Christina stay in her room, because that's what everybody else on campus has been doing. Because we, the rest of the flat, were still able to go out.
You're not allowed to.
According to the basically what we do every time that we're in lockdown, it happens a lot. We call up the lodge and we say, hey, we have a positive case of COVID-19, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, as long as they stay in their room from now on,
but you're
still allowed out, which isn't right.
It's just stupid, yeah. Because I mean, like you said, they have to use the communal spaces. They have to go to the kitchen,
exactly,
and that is, that's all doing that.
So we went about life normally, basically, because the campus was just letting us. So, people had practicals to go to, people had lessons that needed to do attend. And test comes back, COVID-19 positive. Immediately, everybody was like, get back in your room. You're not coming out. We'll deal with everything. They were being quite saying it in a horrible way.
Right.
Really not nice. Like, at one point, I'm not gonna say any names, but one of them came out of the kitchen, looked directly at Abby, who was stood at the other end of the corridor, and literally went, get back in your room, like that, and just like deadpan, not even jokingly. And I was like stood there and I was like, no, hang on, she's like at the other end of the corridor wearing a mask, like she's fine. like it's not. If in all fairness, we've all been living together for the last 2 months, who's to say that one of us hasn't given it to her? And because she's had previous medical problems, she's got a weakened immune system, so symptoms are going to come out.
Also, some of you could just be asymptomatic, like.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, basically, they were saying that they were really annoyed for some reason that this person had gotten COVID because they were missing practicals and they had lessons that they needed to go to. And at one point, they literally were like, we're really annoyed. Abby, oh, bleep that.
You said her name multiple times.
Oh, okay. Abby needs to stay in her room and all of that stuff. So I sort of like came in and they basically put in the chat, they were like, you're allowed to come in to use the this is after I like spoke to them a little bit. They went, you're allowed to come in and use the kitchen, but tell us beforehand so we can evacuate. And yeah, it was a little bit out of hand. Like that in itself sounds reasonably plausible. But the fact that literally every time that Abby would go into the kitchen, someone would go around literally where she was standing and just pour boiling hot water on the floor to like clean it. Mate, this is the thing that annoyed me most. Mate, just use a fucking mop. Like, it really annoyed me. I don't understand why they do that. I walked in one day and it was like walking through a fucking swimming pool. Not fun.
Hang on.
Yep, gone.
The floor.
Yep.
COVID does not transmit through the skin. COVID is a respiratory virus which can only be passed on through respiratory systems. Why the fuck do they think it's sweating out of her feet?
I don't know. That's what I said to her. I was on a call to her and I was like, yeah, like they keep cleaning the floor because apparently your feet have COVID.
They're stupid. They don't understand how it works. You're frozen for me.
Oh, I can't.
There you go.
I could not hear you for a second.
You're back. I said, I think my thing's still caught up. I said they're stupid. They have no idea how it works. In logical sense, what happens is Abby gets COVID. Okay, you're a flat. You all have to lock down. That's just a fact of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I get that some of them might not want to get COVID themselves.
Yeah.
But if they're not concerned about that and they're just like, we want to be able to go out, they're wrong because they shouldn't be going out anyway. What they should be doing is, if they want to, and they're scared about getting it themselves, where everyone wears a mask in communal spaces, not just the people who have it, everyone. Because although it doesn't do a lot, it does help more than not having a mask. It's there to help stop spreading it, not to stop you getting it. And I think people don't get that. You tell people that you're wearing a mask to help other people, and they instantly go, oh, okay, well, I don't care, and they just don't wear it. That's why so many people don't wear masks.
So you having said that, I'm just gonna go get my phone and I'll read you out what I put in the chat.
Oh yes, go on. Yeah, let's do it.
Because this is like a cousin's.
He's got such a good noise gate on his mic that he turned around and I just didn't hear a word he said.
Oh, sorry. That's how good the mic is.
You just went, yeah, and basic.
So, right. I took a screenshot of it for this.
Oh, but the internet is really not liking us today.
No. Okay. Could it be because of the voice meter?
No, it's definitely
okay.
Because I've been using voice meter for like 2 months.
So here's a little message that I put in the chat. Basically,
hold on.
There were. Gone.
Oh, you're back. You were unsynced. Hello. And it was weird. I just wanted to try and fix it.
No worries. So everybody basically so there was one extreme, which was Abby has to stay in her room all of the time, like, and she's not allowed to come out for like 2 weeks so that other people can still mingle in the kitchen, which if we're doing it this way, Abby stays in her room, so does everybody else, and we treat the kitchen like a bus, basically, which, you know, is fine. So this is what I came up with as a mid ground. I did the old Boris Johnson. Right. So the only message I'm going to send on the matter, Abby can use the public spaces as long as they wear a mask. Make us aware they are. I can't read my own thing. Make us aware that they are there and wipe down surfaces just as a precaution. If the rest of the flat wants to sit in the kitchen, wear a mask. That is, everybody wear a mask if they are going into the kitchen or corridor. This is just another precaution in case you are unaware of Abby's arrival in a place. Then it stops the needs of makeshift t-shirt masks. Chats in the corridor are permitted, abiding by standard social distancing laws. I understand that not everybody will be 100% comfortable with these guidelines, but unfortunately today has proven that everybody being 100% happy with these rules is an impossibility. Hopefully, with this mid-ground, we can start getting back to semi-normality. And please remember to treat everyone with respect. We are all human and prone to emotional outbursts and breakdowns. Be understanding of everybody's circumstance. Thank you. And then underneath it, I put, sorry about any spelling mistakes. I'm a dum-dum.
The thing that really, I don't know, it's the hostility. Like, I don't see Abby getting along with these people after this. Like, no, they're being dicks.
I was speaking to her and her roommate yesterday, and she literally went, I don't understand how in 2 days I could go from really like looking forward to moving in with these people next year in our own house, compared to now when I literally just want to move in with you and Christina. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, nicer house.
Yeah, exactly.
People.
It'll be good. But yeah, it was horrible. I was trying to stay out of it for the longest time because I don't like confrontations, and you can literally cut through the tension in the flat with a cold knife, not even a hot one. Like like it was yeah, so I stepped in.
Doesn't that mean the tension's not very strong?
So it will. Okay, 1,000-degree knife challenge. Let's go back to 2018. I'll go back on that one. But yeah, that's basically been my week so far, is sorting out the flat stuff. I do feel like because I stepped in and helped sort it out. Also, I had a word with some of the people who were taking things a little bit too seriously when it comes to it. Basically pick them up on the fact that if they did care about getting COVID-19, they wouldn't have been going out for the last 2 months. And basically picking them up on the fact that, you know, this is Abby's house too. She should feel homely and she should feel safe here. And now she doesn't, because the rest of the flat genuinely just don't talk to her now. She'll go into the kitchen and they'll completely blank her. Because they're all still sitting in the kitchen wearing masks, watching Bake Off. I'm like, why?
You get members, you get like universities, and what they're doing is like people of authority, like a university, and they give you their version of guidelines. Those versions aren't necessarily right. Just because they said that does not mean they're right. Universities are so trying to get people back into university. It's up
to the students to see through.
Yeah.
And to make decisions themselves.
Eve's university were like, hey, like we have on-campus stuff, and that's doing exercise for an hour and a half in a room, like dance, movement, whatever, with a mask on. You shouldn't be exercising in a room with a mask on. It's really unhealthy. Awful for you. And so the guidelines, the new, you know, the PM chat that happened like 2 weeks ago, she just emailed them and said, I'm not coming in. she was like, they literally showed us all the graphs saying our age group are the biggest transmitters. But there's no way in hell I'm going in. No. Despite saying universities staying open, they contradicted themselves, and I refuse. And they were like, fair enough. They couldn't really do anything.
Speaking of Eve, how is she? Because she's had to get
she is so unwell, and she is like singing her heart out in the other room for her voice. She's attending all of her lessons though, so she's doing her voice lesson now, and she's doing all of her vocal warm-ups and stuff, and she is so not well.
You're there hearing her go, Benedict Cumberbatch, Benedict Cumberbatch.
No,
Judi Dench.
I think they're doing, I don't know what they're doing. It's always something different. They're just practices, you know. But she's so unwell because she's putting all of her effort into stuff like the lectures. After the lecture, she just flops. She's just like, she feels a tad warm, but I don't think she has a temperature at all. I think she's just overall body heat warm, whereas opposed to just sometimes in some parts of her body are warm. She's now just warm. She's a bit groggy in the head. She's a bit nauseous. But that's about it. Like, as far as the symptoms go, she's not like lost her, you know, sense of taste or anything like that.
Abby, I walked in and was like, "How are you feeling?" And she goes, "I can't taste Marmite, George." And I was like, "Marmite is the most powerful taste known to man. How? What? Oh my god!
Imagine losing the one thing that keeps you going in life.
I know, right? Food.
But yeah, so it was so stupid. She had to she went through the site where you order the tests.
Yeah.
They failed to confirm her identity 3 times. She had to phone the helpline at like 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock. I don't know. It wasn't that late at all. I'm lying. It was like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock because they opened at 11. God. And she sat on the phone. Some lovely Scottish guy talked us through it. It was way easier than doing it on the app. He was lovely. It was fine.
Oh, you think you've got COVID-19?
But you had to keep saying you're a student, and I'm like, I don't go drinking. It's like Tamsin said in your chat on stream last night. I'm such a mood. I was like, I'm just watching Bake Off and cooking gnocchi. I don't deserve this. All I do is go to the shop when I need to and go on walks down to the beach because it's empty now.
You've been super ever since March. You and Eve have been on point with social distancing.
Yeah. Like, here's the thing. Her mum's a nurse.
Yes. So
she's dealing with it every day, and like her granny's really not deathly by any means, but she was in hospital around Christmas last year, and she got home just before all this COVID stuff happened, and the issue she was having was her heart, and so like Eve just wants to she wants to be able to go home, essentially,
not tempt fate.
But also this is the logic that a lot of people don't have. End it. You know, do everything you can. And I'm not opposed to people going out and eating. Just go to the places you know are practicing social distancing. Weatherspoons isn't necessarily the best place, but they did start table service only, and you get taken to a table essentially now. So it's a little bit better.
You get assigned a table and you stay there.
Yeah. I don't like places that put booths next to booths. Just because there's a sheet of plastic between you does not mean that's safe at all. Yeah. When I say booths, I don't mean there are some other spoons that have there's 2 chairs and a table and then they have a thing beside them. I don't mind those. Yeah. It's the booths with them behind the seats. Somebody is still talking in this direction and this direction, and somebody is sat on the opposite side. It's not that safe at all.
No.
People don't social distance when walking around those places. So me and Eve only go places we know do really good social distancing table service. Yeah. If it was a bad experience, we just don't go back. If it's a coffee shop, that's usually fine. You see how busy it is. And actually, coffee shops have been the best because they don't have so many people in there normally anyway. So they could social distance it better.
I really need to find a good... Well, probably next year at this point. I need to find a decent cafe to come and sit in because I am so struggling trying to do my work in my room because there are so many distractions, and I do not have the capability of doing work.
I'll ask Jonah, Eve's brother, because he went to Falmouth University where George is, and he is the biggest coffee nerd. And when I say this, I mean he is exactly what you would expect a coffee nerd to look like as well.
Does he wear a scarf?
Sometimes.
Ooh.
He has a beanie and woolly jumpers, and he's got a beard and his hair's slightly long, all blonde and stuff, but he loves coffee. And when I need to stress this, nerd isn't a bad, I don't use that as a pejorative word. If you're a nerd, you're amazing.
Hell yeah.
He reads books about he reads books about coffee to the point of learning about diseases that wiped out coffee strands years ago because of the thing called coffee rust, which I learned from him, which basically it's basically a pestilence that affects the coffee growing, and so strands of coffee die. And it's still really prevalent in places like Mexico and stuff. But he's super into his coffee to a point where he just has coffee 24/7. He now works for a company called Yala, which is a Cornish roastery, but they opened a cafe as he got an application and got a job there, so they moved to St Ives. And he works in Yala's Coffee now, their little cafe, and Eve's parents went there and they said it's so nice. The food's really, really, really good, and it's just on the harbour, so it's got a big window that kind of looks out over it. And nice. They do a lot of vegan food, which is a thing for them because they're vegan, which means that usually means, and a lot of people scoff at it, if some place serves a lot of vegan food, it usually means that you're getting more experience there than you are anywhere else because they're doing something different, which I like. But they said they do this amazing toasty, and I just really wanted to go, but I can't. So I'll ask him about Falmouth. I'm sure he has more than one to tell you about. I have just here. I've got like shout outs to Otto, Mad Cucumber. Lead Out is, if you really like extreme strong coffee, Lead Out is really good. Slash Vela Domestique, they're the same company, but they open 2 different shops, and one of them open around the corner from us. That one is Lead Out. Vela Domestique is like 40 minutes away from us.
Nice.
If I'm traveling that far for coffee, I'm going to Otto, which is my all-time favorite coffee shop. But I just haven't had the chance to go there because of COVID. We went back in there like after lockdown first time, like a month after, and he was like, "I've not seen you guys in so long. Hello, how are you?"
Oh my god.
The coffee shops that you like the most are the ones where you know the people. Like in Exeter, I mean, obviously we've lived there our whole lives up until this point. Linden I love, and they open like as I was leaving, but I love it, and their coffee is just incredible. People have a love for like Exploding Bakery. I love Boston Tea Party. It's not independent, it's a franchise, but I love it. I think their coffie's really good.
It's such a nice place to just like, I think multiple times me and you have gone in there just ideas. The building,
stuff, the building in Exeter specifically, it's really small downstairs, but you go upstairs, it's like the biggest room, and the windows go from basically like just a bit off the floor, like all the way to the ceiling, arch, and there's so much light. It is the loudest fucking coffee shop in the world of coffee shops. That's the only thing I hate about it. You get a quiet day, and it is so lovely.
That's where we went for my induction at CEX.
Really?
When I had to sign all of the paperwork, we went there.
Who did it? Who did it?
It was Fane.
Was it?
Yeah.
So Fane didn't do my interview.
So me and Jared started on the same day, and we basically showed up on the Tuesday, and Fane was just like, "All right, cool, we're gonna go sign some paperwork at somewhere," and then we like went to Krispy Kreme, and he was like, "You know, I'm not feeling this," and then like walked off the Boston Tea Party and was like, "Right, let's do this."
Yeah,
and
what pays for it?
I was so tempted to be like, "Oh yeah, I'll have a coffee and a toasty, please." Yeah,
he would have told you to sod off.
Oh no, I think he did. I think he was like, "Well, you're paying for the toasty, mate."
No, that's great.
Before I actually knew him,
they always go to places they want to go because the work pays for it. Bristow did me. He's the one who did my induction. It was about November, and that means that the Black Forest Gatto hot chocolate from Costa was going. So Matt was like, "We're going to go to WH Smith's, which has a Costa at the back of it, just so he could get that hot chocolate." He's like, "I get one every day," and I'm like, "That's probably not a good thing."
You know, for a personal trainer, it's probably not a good thing. And
but he also drinks energy drink.
Monster Energy. Yeah.
My favorite thing that ever happened in terms of health was when Fane was like, "Yeah, I'm just not gonna like try and have like unnecessary sugars and fizzy drinks and stuff." And then, like 2 days later, I was like, "Oh, I'm going shop. Do you guys want anything?" And he asked me to pick him up a fizzy or a packet of sweets or something, and I was like, "Fane, you know better."
It used to make me laugh when like every now and then, you know, when like schools set up a rule and then like 3 months later it's a bit more lax, and then like a month after that they're like,
eating behind the counters. No eating behind the counters. What I was gonna
say. Literally, he's like, "You're not allowed to eat behind the counters," and then people like bring in like cookies or something and hide them underneath the counters, and he's like, "Guys, no eating behind the counters." And then we like go behind window, and he sat there eating a packet of crisp, and he's like, "Oh, you're right." I'm like, "Fane, come on, no eating behind and it's like, you're not allowed to. Don't leave food here overnight. If you leave food here overnight, I'm tucking it away in the morning." And then we'll get in the next morning and we'll be like, "Whose packet of Sunbites is that?" And they'll be like, "It's Fane's." And he'll come in and be like, "Oh, thank God no one threw that away," and open it up.
That's the thing though, like, if you worked a morning shift, you always got your stuff back. They don't bin it in the night, they bin it in the morning. You come in and you go, "Oh, my cookies are still here," and then you just fucking eat cookies.
On a Saturday, I used to leave my bottle of water, because I always used to do the Sunday shift, which is like an all-dayer, and nothing's open when we open. So I used to just like leave my bottle of water there and then come in on the Sunday and fill it back up and be like, "Right, there we go. Don't need to go to Sainsbury's at lunch now."
I really did love working there, and I think the reason it lacks the rules like that lacks purely because you just forget. Like,
yeah.
So this is before you were working there, but when I worked there the first time,
yeah,
I think it was first. Yeah, it would be the first time we had a meeting, and he was like, "Look, we're just gonna stop the eating behind the counters. I don't mind if you have like a packet of sweets in your pocket, like Starburst or whatever, and you take one out, but I don't have just food on the. He doesn't want them on."
Yeah,
I get it though, because it's like that space where a stack of games can go, or a stack, like every space in CEX is crucial. Like, you get given a small keyboard, and you get given one of those ball mice because there's no room to move your mouse. The fact that we even had a PC was a fucking miracle. Every other CEX I've been to uses laptops.
Really?
Yeah, I've never seen another one that uses computers.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's mental. I will always look back on my time working at CEX, every aspect of the job. I genuinely really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Maybe not every single aspect of the job, but like
I had to be in a specific mood to like it. I hated merch. I don't like merching.
Merching was a pain in the ass. And one time, I think it was, see, I'm here like, I will think back on memories, and I'm like, actually no, there was one time where the store was getting pretty busy, and Ghost of Tsushima had just come out,
right?
And my thought process was, if Ghost of Tsushima is just sat on the side ready to go out and not going out, then it's not going to sell, or it's going to be easier to sell. You're right.
Yeah, so Eve just walked in. I was just going to ask you how you're feeling for everyone else.
Oh yeah, how are you feeling?
And I spoke for you, but I feel unqualified to answer that question.
Not great.
Oh.
I told you, she puts all of her effort into her lessons, and then the second it's over, she's like, fuck me, I feel worse.
That was wonderful though. We were singing a song with a Cockney accent, so the whole time I was like...
Doing your old Dick Van Dyke impression.
Dick Van Dyke impression, he's saying.
Yeah.
She's not feeling great, let's put it that way. You're a champ though, you're getting on with it. And you deserve a cookie or chocolate or whatever you want when you get it.
Oh my god, a cookie!
Yeah, they're down there. Okay. As long as you bring me one.
Because I deserve one too.
I deserve one.
Dealing with you.
I don't deal with her, she's fine.
No, yeah, it was when Ghost of Tsushima had just come. So
just a quick, sorry, I don't mean to keep interrupting you. Because of the noise gate on your mic, I think it's because you're sat back, and every now and then, when your microphone drops out, I think it's just because you're not being picked up. That's all.
No worries. I'll lean in a little bit. I'll move in. So it was when Ghost of Tsushima, and my thought process was, if it's sat on the side, then what's the point of it being here? So I quickly went out, and there wasn't enough space to put it in, so I quickly just put it on the shelf. Thinking people will see it there and it will sell like immediately.
Right.
So in like the 5 minutes that it was on the shelf, Bentley comes up to me and is like, George, I think we've talked about this before, haven't we? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he goes, I'm pretty sure I taught you how to merch, but could you come over here? And then he takes me over to PS4 and is like, this copy of Ghost of Tsushima, it's a £50 game. Why is it put there like that? And I was like, because I was serving someone and I quickly came out here to put it on the shelf so that it would actually sell. And he just goes, all right, well, and then he like re-shows me how to merch. And I'm literally there like, yeah, you can put this here, yep, that's the £5 one, so we're bringing that down here and we're bringing the 15 up here. Did literally like an entire side of the thing in like 3 minutes. And he was like, all right, well, so you do know what you're doing then. Well, go on, get on with your job. I'm glad we had this discussion. And then like 20 minutes later, I'm speaking to Brad, and he comes up and goes, I've had a discussion with our old friend George here. He's learnt from his past mistakes. And I went, yes, sir. And then that evening I was put on merch, and I went over to where Bentley had been like merching PS3, and it was dog shit. It was dreadful. I was like, dude, there's a fucking Batman over an F. Why? Do you not look? Are you using your eyes?
I get you.
It really annoyed me.
I understand your logic. Like, if it's sat on the side, in CEX, in our store specifically, there is like 6 tills, and then on the side there are 2 tills. They're like supervisor ecom tills. Ecom being internet sales. It's how they get their orders and stuff.
Especially during COVID.
Yeah, so when stuff gets bought in, and you scan it all in, you've done all of that, it goes into your till, and then whenever you get a chance, it might usually the end of the day because it's so busy, but if you have a good day, you can do it in between your orders. You bring like a stack up and you start putting the labels on the boxes, doing all of that, and then putting like all of the discs that are PS4 in the PS4 disc box for somebody to put them all in the wall, and then you put the boxes and then you put all of the boxes on the side in front of the ecom, and then merch will take that and they'll put it out. Ghost of Tsushima just coming out, that's going to be like a 50 quid game for CEX. It's not going to sell there because nobody can see it. There are a few people that come into CEX that only go through those piles. They'll come in and go, oh, just take a look. Kev does that
because they come in every day.
Kev's classic. Everyone knows Kev. Kev is really lovely. Yeah, Kev walks in every day. He's like, "Hey, bud, how are you doing?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm really good."
How are you doing, mate?
He's lovely, and he'll be like, "Oh, do you don't mind if you not got an order? You don't mind if I go through your merch pile?" And I'm like, "Nah, go for it, mate. Go for it. You're Kev, special allowance." And so he goes through it. But like, nobody else does that, and so they would never see that. I personally would have gone, maybe no room on that shelf, and then I'd be like, "Hey, at that time, Holly on window." Like, any room in window or something for this, but like, I don't say what you did is wrong at all. Like, it's not going to sell on the side. It's got more chance of selling on the shelf, 100%. Was there any room do you still have that recommended section in the middle?
Oh yeah, we do. But
that
it
might
was
have
like
been good.
because there were people queuing up. I think it was literally as we were transitioning. So the queues on either side, and obviously with COVID going on and everything, I could just like hop on a mask and be like, "Excuse me, mate."
That's what people every other shop does, and I get it. No. I get that the shops have jobs to do. I 100% understand that. However, I don't want you walking right next to me. I don't want you near me, because you are going past more people than anyone else here, and all day, and you are the most likely person to give it to me. I don't want it, so just stay away. But they're just very, I've got to go this way, I've got to go this way, and I'm like, yeah, you're doing work that we all appreciate. I still think you should do it safer, because at the same time,
it would get to a point where I'd because before COVID, I was very like hands-on employee. If someone came up with an inquiry like, "Oh, I'm trying to get son his first phone, what do you think I should get?" I will come round the counter and I will have a proper discussion with this person. I'll be like, "The first phone I ever had was Samsung Galaxy S3, that was a couple years ago, so maybe go for something a bit more modern, maybe like an S5 or an S6."
They are the best people, because I really like long sales.
So do I.
When you see loads and loads of people, exactly. And not like money. I think it's satisfaction, because you.
No, that's what I was talking about. You can scam them.
Yeah, you can really get loads of money out of them. No, it's like you kind of build
one guy a Galaxy Fold.
Yeah, you build a rapport with them, and you're like, hey, oh yeah, but you don't want that, do you? Yeah, and then you talk to their kid, and they're like, oh, I want to be able to do this, or like, and you're like, that's not cheap.
Fortnite.
That literally
Galaxy Fold.
I'll be like, what do you want? Like, what do you want from the phone? And then the parent will always be like, oh, it's just a phone. And I'm like, yeah, but like, for what? What do they want to use it for? And they'll be like, I want to watch YouTube, or I wanna play Fortnite, like you said. And then it's like, okay, well, most phones can do that.
Get a PS4, mate. Get a PS4.
Yeah, Eve in the corner, just like.
I've hit my mic like 3 times in a couple seconds.
If you sat on your side, Evie, you would actually be mostly out of shot.
She's just gonna disappear behind you.
Whoa! No, her head stop. she just got sculpted instead.
Invisible man.
No, I just keep my.
You just hold your
keep my arm
like
up. She can't see it now. Yeah, CEX, but yeah, complaints about certain people at CEX, but it's like it's a good job. I enjoy doing it, and I like
job. And everybody
have
there
good
is
friends.
super nice.
Yeah, I have good friends.
Even the people who would get on my nerves sometimes, I still had a really good rapport with. Me and Bentley would talk about miniatures and doing all of that stuff because I've recently gotten back into that as well. So streaming and miniatures are two things that maybe I want to combine at some point.
Yeah, and yeah, I really learnt to like George during that job.
I think everybody at CEX really learned to like me.
Ignore the fact that I literally am I told him to apply for that job. Like he was like, I need a job.
To it 2 years beforehand.
Yeah, I was like, look,
I don't really want to work with my cousin, and then realised you
like, what?
Yeah, so fucking fun. I realised that I really wanted to work with my cousin.
Well, we did. The thing is, though, we've worked in multiple jobs together now.
Yes,
because of Ashford. Ashford is probably my least favourite.
We were in the same class at school for 2 years.
Yeah, Ashford was my least favourite job to work at you with because it was an office environment, and although it was a very laxed office because it was facilities, if we even talked, they'd be like, "Oh, you two are messing around," and we're like, "No, we're not. Yeah. We're not at all." And then they're like, "Look, Mark's not messing around." And I'm like, "Mark has done a quarter of the work that we've done individually."
My God, yeah. Okay, yeah. To be fair. We used to like race, didn't we, with the probates? We were like, how many boxes today? Yeah. I've done 2, mate. I'm 1 more second.
Yeah, we did. But also, like, it got to a point where they kept calling us out and being like, if they're talking, they're not working. Not true. Me and George are amazing multitaskers. It's not the most high intensive job in the world, at all. Like, we would listen to podcasts at the same time and just start chuckling.
Oh my God, my
brother and me. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's just annoying. I started marking the boxes with an X, and I told George to stop marking his with a circle, and I was just like, okay, just for photo evidence, Gary. X and 0 is all we've done. All of the ones without a mark is mark. Funny the irony in that. And he was like, yeah, we know. I was like, what?
It was because his mum worked upstairs. She was
but so did mine.
So,
no, she's not a partner.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, my sister and brother-in-law.
Yeah, but your brother-in-law was high up in that department. He wasn't like manager, but he was like
he had a high renown.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, that probably did more. Like, I think. Did the sorry pick up on the mic? Because that's quite.
Sorry, yeah, I heard it. I was like, sorry.
I don't remember what his mum did, but I don't think she was like a partner or anything. My mum's not. My mum's a legal secretary for partners, and so is your sister. She's the assistant. My
sister worked in
for
equity release for a little while, and then I can't remember what she works in now, but she's like.
She became the either legal secretary or assistant for Charles.
I think it was assistant for Charles.
Yeah, because I love Charles. Charles is literally one of my favorite people in that whole building.
Charles and Elton.
Yeah, he's one of the partners, and my mum used to be on the desk next to him in the old Ashfords building, and she would be like. Every single year she would send him a card and say happy birthday, and he'd be like, Sally, how do you remember my birthday? And it was from when she was his assistant. It's still on her calendar and it's never come off, but she won't tell him that. And so every year he's like, you keep remembering my birthday, and she's like, yep.
Yep, fantastic memory, me.
Yeah, that's me. You know me, I always remember my son's name, Michael, and Michael.
Michael and Blue. Luke.
Luke, yeah. It's the dog, damn it. Yeah. But no, Charles is lovely. There are so many good people in these works. You're always going to get people you don't like, but like CEX, you make good friends. Like, obviously, we already knew each other, and that was really lax. We got to hang out and like take the piss and joke. And like every time, it was one of those places that like it really suits people like us because we're really interested in that stuff. So stuff comes in
to talk about video games and films all day and get paid for
to each other, literally. And then to customers, and then it's great.
The best transactions will be the ones where you've got like someone bought in like a bunch of DVDs or a bunch of games
that take you 40 minutes,
and you're talking to them, and then like another person will come into the conversation and be like, hey, you talking about like the new Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? We're like, yeah, it's really good, isn't it? And we're having this 3-way conversation sort of thing as still out of habit, when I'm putting a DVD in the player, I will open it up really fast, look at it, and be like, oh, why am I looking at the state of the disc?
I do that.
Yeah.
I know my discs are perfect for like my PlayStation, but I always do it because it's just habit.
I'm super annoyed because I did this with God of War the other day because I was taking it out to put in another game. I can't remember which one.
You downloaded last us.
I took God of War out, and I don't know how, but it had like smears on it. Like, it looked like water damage. It came off. It looked like it had like been put on a side, but on top of something.
Oh, gross! No, don't put your discs away and put them in the right fucking cases for one. Like, oh my god.
Yep. 100%.
Your games are a collection. Put them there. They sit on top of my console in alphabetical order in pristine condition because they have to be, else they don't work. Like, it's just video games. Look after them, respect them for what they are.
That's why they cost so much. You pay for a premium product, so treat it as such. But no, I literally was like, oh yeah, it's God of War. So actually, I think I was taking it out of the wrong case and putting it into the right one. I don't know how it ended up there because I genuinely put, unless I've like taken a game out and the case is in another room, in which case I'll put that game in the case, just in the other case. Just so it's safe,
I sigh really angrily and then I go get the case.
Yeah, but no, and it was like I had to like clean up the disc and everything the best I could because I don't have access to a $2,000 disc cleaner anymore, which was,
we'll come back to that,
simultaneously the worst and best disc cleaner in the world.
The thing about that disc cleaner is that in CEX someone would come and be like, can you like clean a few of my discs, and be like, yeah, sure. Everywhere, every other CEX charges you £2 to clean your disc.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know about that.
We are the only ones I've ever seen that don't charge you to do it.
Yeah, I like the amount of times that, like, again, like when Kev would come in and he'd always we have a selection. Any CEX has a selection of 50p DVDs.
Yeah,
go check it out. You can get some right bargains down there. But always double check the disc. We keep most CEXs keep the disc in the 50p's because they're not worth too much. So if they get stolen, we don't lose a lot. So check the disc. If it's too scratched, get another one of the same one because there's usually duplicates. And then ask just at the till as you're buying, do you mind putting this through the disc cleaner? Usually people will be like, yeah, that's fine because we haven't sold this yet. So it's ours, so we'll clean it up. But Kev would always do that. He'd always come in like the next day because he came in daily, and he'd be like, "Oh, George, do you mind just cleaning up this one? I bought it yesterday. Here's my receipt." And I was like, "Dude, I served you. like, it's fine."
But also, even if I would always put any disc in. It doesn't matter. Like if somebody just came in and went, "I've got this case. I know you have a disc cleaner. Do you mind doing it?" I'd be like, "Yeah." There's this one guy who I think might be autistic. And like that's his thing. He carries them around in the big sort of zip pouches with all of the discs in. Yeah. And he'll be like, "Can you clean my discs for me?" And then he'll give you like 12 of them. But I always did it because it's just less work. I don't know what else to say. Less work. That was it. But I loved working there. I thought it was fun. We got to hang out, chat shit.
Yeah, it was good. The amount of times that it would be like, "Oh, when do you finish work? All right, we''t meet for lunch." Like in between shifts.
Yeah.
Like,
but also, like when I came,
city trips.
Oh yeah,
those were the best.
I was saying to Eve, we us three are going to do that. We're going to go back because so Eve doesn't eat Chinese really because she's vegetarian, and so you can't really tell with a lot of it. But also like a lot of the vegetables are like not something she'd be that into. They're just like a shit ton of mushrooms or something like that. It's not that she doesn't like mushrooms, it's just like there's a lot of mushrooms. Do you know what I mean?
Mushrooms, a shit ton of mushrooms.
Shit, yeah, well, both. It's just like when that's all you're getting, it's a bit like I'd rather get an Indian, which I totally get because it's way better for stuff like that. But we tried to go to a Chinese buffet in Middlesbrough. I should have told you everything you needed to know. It was fine. It was just okay. It was really not that good though.
It's not quite Buffet City. No, it's like mediocre to average.
Buffet City got better though. Like it was bad, and then it got
used to
actually
be disgusting in there, and then they revamped the entire place. I think they got new owners, and I think now whenever we're both in Exeter, we try to go to Buffet City. And those plans were crushed last time because of COVID.
But I wanna take her to a proper buffet so she can be like, "Oh, I actually like this. I like this. That's good." I don't like that. And then like it's just something else she can try, and also we all get to hang out and just sit and have refillable drinks at Buffet Buffy City. I mean, what else? What more is there to say? Like,
I know, right? Sit there for hours and hours. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeah. For beginners, you don't even know. Sorry, that's a Childish Gambino line.
I remember again. There's a lot of CEX talk today, but I remember us going after one of my shifts, and then our manager Fane ringing me up and being like, "Hey, can you come back in?"
I think it was Bristow,
we rushed off our feet.
I kind of remember. I think this was Bristow. I think this is when we were in Buffet City, right?
Yeah,
this is Bristow.
And I forgot my glasses and had to run back to Buffet City and get my glasses so I could actually work.
You were like, "Yeah, I'm at Buffet City. I will come back at some point." And then
I'll come back. I was like, "I'll come back for clothes." But
Yeah,
I'm currently enjoying a nice meal with my cousin.
Yeah, and that's the good thing about CEX is that they would rather have somebody. They'd rather have somebody go, "Yeah, I'll come in at some point," than be like, "I'll try and find someone else
today," sort of thing. Yeah.
No, but they would have to call other people, and if they call you in, you go, "Yeah, I'll show up at some point." They'll be like, "Cool, I'm not going to try and call other people because they'll probably say no." The fact that I got one to say yes. I was going to say,
you always at our CX at least, there was a group of people who would sometimes say yes, and there was a group of people who would always say always. Were you always the no person?
I was mostly the no person.
I was a lot of, if I had something going on that day, then, or if I just really didn't feel like it, or if it was my day off, I'd be like, "I'm not going to be able to today. I have been working 6 days this week," sort of thing.
For me, it was because I based my whole life around college and CEX, right? So if I wasn't at CEX, I was probably at college, so I couldn't do those days. And then on the weekend, I didn't want to do a full day, and I didn't want to come in on a Sunday if I didn't originally work a Sunday, because I was probably going to Exmouth to stay at E's house. I couldn't I based my whole life around that, so I had plans. That was usually it. So he would always call me, and he'd be like, "Hey, can you come in?" I'd be like, "Well, I'm on a train, so
I can't." Do you remember? Sorry, that reminded me of the time where we were both at college, and I think it was my first year at college. And you called. It got to a point where I think Thursday, you, me, and John would meet up and we'd go have food. And it was a Thursday, and you called me and you're like, "Hey man, do you want to meet up for lunch?" And I just went, "I'm in Cardiff."
I remember that.
I can't. I'm sort of out of town.
Yeah.
You're like, "Where are you?" I was like, "Cardiff Bay." I'm going on a Doctor Who walk.
Maybe we should invite John to this, because I absolutely love John. He is actually one of my best friends.
I haven't spoken to him in years.
I speak to him through Snapchat, and that's about it. I speak to him more periodically. It's long and then take a break, but I'd love to meet up with him again, especially because I always forget that you also hung out with him because of those days. Usually you end up going to you go to McDonald's or something. You just get lunch, you just hang out, and that's fine.
I remember one of the first
Spoons
times I
a lot,
properly.
actually.
Yeah, Spoons a lot. I remember one of the first times I ever met Eve was us going to McDonald's, and you were like, "Oh yeah, Eve's gonna join us, so let's get a table." We're like, "Yeah, cool, that's fine." She came in, sat next to me, and obviously we're in McDonald's. There's nothing in there that she could have eaten because she was vegan at the time. Yeah. And you literally went, "Oh, hang on, honey," and then you got out a single fucking vegan hot cross bun, and you were like, "You can."
It was actually hang on.
On this hot cross bun.
I have two things. Right, I never call Eve honey.
Yeah,
honey,
I know.
Babe. Those words disgust me as a general. I hate them. Yeah. Right. Two, it was 2 hot cross buns, not 1. But yeah, Eve at the time, Eve couldn't eat anything at all.
And then
we're talking about the times we used to go for lunch with John, and the one she knows the story.
She knows exactly.
George was like, I remember the first time I met Eve, and she showed up at McDonald's and she had to eat just a solitary cold with nothing on it, a hot crust bun. But you're laughing. It's one of her preferred ways to eat a hot crust bun.
Hey, yo, that's fine. That's fine.
She literally did do that 3 weeks ago.
I had to go to Asda in between work to get lunch, and I didn't have a lot of money, and so I just bought a packet of hot cross buns and sat outside by bins eating a hot cross bun.
She's not vegan anymore. She has options now.
She just likes hot cross buns.
She has options now, even if she were a vegan. She could have gone to Greg's, which is literally where were you? Where was this?
Paul's.
Asda,
Greg's is fucking near that.
she could have gone to Co-op and gone to the bakery and gotten a very nice lunch.
Yeah.
She's smiling. She's happy. She knows.
I know the struggle. When I was at when I'm secondary school, West Eggs, I bought just a bag of bagels at school and just ate those.
I can't eat plain bread like that. I love bread, but no, not at all.
Bagels are its own form. It's like slightly stale bread, you know. I'm not a huge fan of bagels, I'll be honest.
It's funny though, because when she stopped being vegan and we were in Middlesbrough, we basically went to McDonald's every day. It was like the worst phase of my life ever. You never went outside. That or Wetherspoons. You never went outside, so when you went outside, you went to eat. Yeah, well, I was a lot worse in Middlesbrough than I was in college. Because at college, I was like, I could just walk 15 minutes home. Whereas in Middlesbrough, I was like, I just spent all day at home. Let's go McDonald's or Wetherspoons. I got really huge. I put on a lot of weight just being there.
There's a transitioning period, I think, between you put a picture on Twitter yesterday, which was a video. Sorry, that was when my parents were out of town and we stayed up until like 3 o'clock in the morning playing Worms on Wii.
That was a really fun night as well. It was a really
fun night. Well, I think we watched Les Mis and Moana, didn't we? Were those the two films that we put on? Oh no, it was Life of Brian and Moana.
No, I don't think it was Life of Brian.
We watched
it might have been Les Mis.
Of Life of Brian, and then we went. Was it all three? I remember watching Life of Brian.
Well, here's the thing: we definitely listened to Hamilton.
Yes.
So that 2-hour 20 musical has to be in there somewhere. We watched Moana, maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It's possible. I just remember that we had
I think we put on Les Mis pretty late on.
Yeah, and we had giant fake popcorn boxes, and we just filled them with different snacks and stuff.
Yes.
And in the clip, you're singing a song from Hamilton, and it didn't export from my Snapchat, but you can hear it on my Snapchat. You sing Chaos and then you die in Worms, and you just go Chaos and fuck like that. It didn't come out of the export, and I don't know why, because I was cackling. It's so funny.
I was unaware of what I used to look like.
You basically with short hair.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah.
I think your face
I used to wear
shapes
glasses a lot more, and I think I don't know. I've got a bit more of a jawline now. I think. I like to think so, but yeah. It was super weird looking at that. That sent me on a little path of me looking through Instagram at all of the posts that I'm tagged in, and slowly seeing the progression from West X to now.
Right.
And it was kind of weird. It was kind of odd.
Well, I didn't have a beard, for one.
No.
I also used to have my hair not like this at the minute.
You used to get it the same length all the way around.
No, see,
slightly longer on top.
Slightly longer on top, so it was always a 1 on the side, 2 on top, right? And then what I would do is throughout the day I used to push my hair over like this. That was what I used to do.
I think you said this on here before.
Yeah, it was just to keep it I don't know. My hair didn't look curly. This is my hair naturally.
I like your hair now. I think letting it go a little bit has. With the beard and everything,
what
you
happened?
Sort of balanced out your face.
I washed it yesterday, but I must have fucked around with it in my sleep because it's already going frizzy, and normally it takes 2 days to get to that point. So I'm a bit annoyed because I've got to wait another 2 days, but whatever. Yeah, it's weird. It was weird how different we both look from when we were.
Yeah, we both glow up.
I don't know. I hate that word. I hate it.
Yeah, so I use it ironically. Time a lot of the time, not all the time.
Why were your feet in water, George?
Why were my feet in water?
In that photo that Chelsea commented,
it's because I had rancid feet when I was little.
Was that actually why?
Yeah, they were.
So James's comment was actually right.
I can still smell it. Yeah. So I used to get home from school and my shoes would be letting in the water and everything, and I wouldn't take off my shoes. I still don't take off my shoes. In fact, I'm massively conscious about my feet still today. It took me, I think, a month and a half to build up the courage to go into the kitchen with no socks on.
I'm like that. I hate feet. I think feet are so inherently disgusting.
Yes, they are.
I don't want to see sandals, flip flops, whatever.
Why would you want to?
But I wear socks all the time, but that's because I just don't want to look at feet. I don't have a I just don't. And if I don't wear socks, it's because I've forgotten. That is the only time. What's it?
Gone. My so yeah, basically my smell of damp water and basically just like cat piss. So I never smelt it, but apparently it was really bad. So
well, your brother-in-law commented, "I've never smelt feet stinky as that."
yeah. And it wasn't. It was too. I was like, yeah, well, Chelsea, because she posted, my sister posted the picture, and I said to her afterwards, I was like, well, at least my feet didn't used to smell like quavers and popcorn, Chelsea. She'd be like, that was like a running meme. She'd be like, George, smell this. It smells like popcorn. And I'm like, I don't want to smell that shit.
What?
we will donate morbid curiosity. But yeah, it was that's why my feet are in a bucket of water in that picture.
Why are you drinking squash out of a Capri Sun?
Because that's like a Capri Sun is squash.
No, Chelsea said, why, I don't know, why is he drinking squash out of an empty Capri Sun?
Oh no, I think it's an empty Kinder Egg.
Oh, that's what she said. Sorry.
Yeah, I used to do this weird thing where I would fill up the inside of a Kinder Egg with juice and shot it. And I used to be like, this is my rehydration capsule, and like put it in my pocket and hope it didn't leak, and like walk around the house with it and be like, oh, and then for that way. I was a weird kid. I had a very vivid. I still do have a imagination. I just know how to control it now.
You just know how to say, oh, that's an idea. Shouldn't share that with the world.
I don't know. I feel like that the boundary with sharing it with the world is still not quite there, but
this show hasn't helped with that, I would argue.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't. You've outed me here. Now the world knows that I used to have manky feet and I used to shot juice out of it in a Kinder Egg.
I just said to Chelsea, maybe we should leave the question as simply why, instead of trying to find out the specifics. Just why.
Speaking of juice,
your camera's gone slightly out of focus. It did this last night. What's going on?
There's no way I can fix it on Discord. It's purely because of the fact that the Logitech is a bit shit with the autofocus. So it will start focusing on shit behind me rather than here, and I can't like put up a railing. I want to put up a railing, but I can't really do that at the moment with like a blanket behind it, so it doesn't.
Can't you just like?
Also, it'd help with the noise.
I don't know. Edit. Can you just like go into Streamlabs and add a filter onto?
No, so it's that wouldn't work through Discord. It would
not through Discord, but like when you stream, because it pops. I
usually do. I usually set at one focus, which is just everything in focus, just so that I can move in and out, and it's not having to autofocus. But I forgot to do that yesterday, so thanks for telling me, because I checked and I was like, I looked like a mirage. It was great.
I was like leaving to start my own stream, and I was like, I can't see him anymore. He's fully blurry.
I can't believe you've actually gotten to 50 followers now, which is awesome. It's awesome. I was lurking last night, by the way.
Do you want to know why I got to 50?
Go on. Wasn't it because you got raided by like 2 streamers? I need to hear this whole story.
Okay. Earlier in the day, 2 people that I watched stream called Dan Dastardly and Baron Spatula. Okay, these are 2 people that I know through one streamer.
The Twitch names.
No, I know them both through one streamer called Ace Quinn. Right, Ace Quinn raids Dan every time he's on and she's finishing. Which is how I know Dan. Baron is a mod in both Ace Quinn and Dan's channel, and I talk to Baron and Ace Quinn all the time, like off of stream and stuff. And so Baron and Dan were doing a co-Pokemon stream. They were racing each other with the randomizer mod. And I had both of their streams up, and I was like, #Team Baron. And then as he read that, I went over to Dan's and I was like, #Team Dan, which is perfect because I waited for him to respond to it. He was like, Luke says, Lycosi says, #Team Baron. And then he was like, oh, fuck you, Lycosi, fuck you, Lyco. And then he looks at his chat and he goes, he's just said #Team Dan. And then I went back over to Baron and I'm like, don't listen to him, baby, he's lying to you. And then as he read that out loud, I was like, you can't trust Baron, he's a Swede. And then I just like kept jumping back and forth between them. And then I went off the stream, and like 3 hours into it, they both finished their stream, and I know it is Baron. There's no other way. Like, Dan wouldn't think of it. Baron just goes, Loco is streaming. Let's just all raid him. So I got a raid of like 20 people and a raid of 10 people just like fluxed into my, and I saw Dan's notification come out. I was like, fuck Dan. And in my head I was like, Dan wouldn't have raided me alone. Dan doesn't follow me. He wouldn't have known. But Baron follows me. and then just after Baron did it, and I was like, I explained it to George as it's like both of your lovers in your affairs confronting you at the same time.
Mrs. and the X.
I thought you loved me, and they're like, and then on the stream I was like, hey Dan, who won? And then I was like, if it was you, I always believed in you. And then they were like, oh, we drawed. And I was like, I always believed in you, Baron. It was just like, and Eve was like, wait, what? And I was like, Eve, I have to play to both sides. You can't, like, don't. It's good fun. But yeah, they enormously helped. I got to 50 overnight. I raided some. I felt not obligated, but I felt like I wanted to pass that on because it really did wonders for me. And I had all of these people still in my chat for like hours afterwards. And I was like, I'm just going to raid some poor fool with like one viewer. And so I found a guy called Trailex, and he has one viewer. He has over like 100 followers, but he doesn't have the views for affiliate. He's got 1 view average, and so I just raided him.
Nice. We're good. Don't worry.
Is that fire testing? Yeah. Doesn't that happen a few times?
My heart jumped out my chest. I was like, no, it's not gonna happen. That's it now.
Oh wow! In Middlesbrough, it used to happen multiple times throughout the day.
It should only happen once. If it happens again, I'm gonna have to leave you.
So what were we saying just then? Trader. So I raided him. He was really cool. I couldn't really stay though because it was quite late and we wanted to go to bed. But when you raid, it's kind of like you're meant to stay and talk because I'm very aware that a lot of people lurk on my stream. They're not going to talk to him. And so I was just like talking to him away for a bit. And I was like, look, I really can't stay. Blah blah blah. Go. Enjoy the game.
Baby, it's cold outside.
And in the night, when I was asleep, I woke up and he had followed me in the night. She got me to 50, and then I went to stream. Somebody unfollowed me.
Oh no.
And I tweeted something along the lines of, whoever unfollowed me just as I hit my follower goal, ... GG, well played. But the only reason I got back to 50 is because Eve really hates her Twitch name, as if she made a new Twitch account and followed me from that. And so she put me back up to 50.
Yeah, she
like,
followed me as well. And I was like, oh, thanks for the follow. And then she was like, sorry to disappoint. I was like, nah, it's fine, it's good. She
really hated her Twitch name. Like, she doesn't use it on anything. So she was like, I don't really know what to call myself. Do I call myself Eve Meyer? That's boring. And I was like, yes. And so we came up with the braided maiden, which I thought was quite funny because we were playing Valhalla, and her hair's you can kind of see it like there just over my shoulder. Her hair's braided back like Viking. She's stroking it. It's braided back like Lagatha. She's done striker pose, Vogue, work it. It's like it's done like Lagatha from Vikings. So it just worked and it was cool when she liked it, so she's gone with that. And so I got that 50 back. I'm now, I checked my stream. Yeah, last night I was averaging, it says 2, but every time I checked it was 4 viewers, like most of the night. But it's saying average 2. Yeah, so you had me and Tamsin in, and then Eve. So we had you on my PlayStation, and then me and Eve had chats only on our phone, just like messaging in. The delay isn't you, it is the PlayStation, because I watched you then on my PC when I was setting up the stream so I could type, and I was like, oh, this is way further ahead than the PlayStation, which is something I didn't know. So I got that phone, they're wireless, you know? Like, I understood there would be a delay there. I'm plugged in on Ethernet on the PlayStation. I thought it would be equally as fast. It's not. There was like a solid 20-second delay, which meant that I was saying stuff to you, and you were like, I don't understand, because like so much time had passed from the thing I was referencing.
Yeah, I know the pain.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but yeah, we were just chatting. I love hanging out in your chat and stuff. It's fun, and especially when like someone else is there to bounce off of, like Tamsin, who is usually there.
Definitely.
And Tamsin has been lovely enough to jump in mine.
She's an avid follower of Geoidus. It's very nice.
Did you have one? I don't have one. I don't have an avid follower. I have people who come in and lurk for me, which is really nice of them. Eve always has her channel up watching it when we live stream, and then Thane always drops in for quite a while, like maybe an hour. But usually he's got other things to be doing.
I haven't spoken to Thane properly in so long. I need to hop into one point. Because the last thing he said to me was, don't be
I did not hear. You're not talking right now. There's no sound. There you go.
Hang on.
I can hear you now.
Sorry. I'm gonna really quickly. Actually, I won't do it now, but next time I'm gonna just use my snowball as it is.
So the last time,
because I move around quite a bit, but I haven't actually spoken to Fane properly in a very long while.
So what did you say? The last time, yeah, Eve, I did see that, by the way. Last time, you said don't be a stranger. Did you say? And then you
yeah. So the last time I saw him, he was like, "Don't be a stranger. Hop into stream, say hi," and I just haven't been able to, or I haven't been as active on Twitch as I wanted to. So I will. I think he probably stream tonight. I'll probably hop in and be like,
"What day is it? Thursday." He doesn't always stick to a straight schedule, but he always does the scheduled streams. What he might do is an additional stream. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Oh, love you. These are sticky. Wow.
Hey. Nice. What kind of cookie do you have?
A honeycomb and white chocolate Tesco cookie.
Ooh, nice.
One of my absolute favourites.
That sounds nice.
It's literally, I always get it. And then they also do a white chocolate and raspberry one, which is like my other favourite. I'm just checking Fane's channel. I'll put a link in the description for anyone who wants to check it out. Oh, you can hear that. He was playing XCOM last night. Like I said on stream, I love watching Fane, I really do. But usually it's very late and we want to sleep.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Other nights, if I want to stream with him, I just ask him to stream earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do need to do a co-stream at some point. Just cause. Yeah.
I think Sea of Thieves would be really fun.
Sea of Thieves would be fun, and it's a game we both already have.
Yeah, exactly. Star Citizen is in alpha at the minute, so I don't mind waiting a while for that. But
how do I find out what my average views are?
Okay, George, I'm going to introduce you to something.
Yep.
You're on your Twitch homepage.
Yep.
Click your icon.
Yep.
Click either video producer or create a dashboard, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm on video producer.
And then on that list it will say insights.
Yep, I got it. Channel analytics.
Yeah, that's your overall average.
Average viewers 1.3.
That's really good. Mine wasn't at that for a very long time.
I was going to say that's not bad considering I only have like 8.
I was saying to Eve how it really works that you like games like Terraria. It's a really accessible category for people. Yeah. I play games that are quite modern and a lot of people are playing them, which sucks because it's saturated, but I enjoy playing them and I'm not going to stream games I
have noticed that my one Terraria stream test had managed to perform a lot better than 2 Breath of the Wild streams that were longer and obviously Breath of the Wild, so there's probably more going on.
Do you ever look at your categories before you do them?
No.
I suggest doing this, George. Yeah. If you're in a bad mood and you think having a really low viewer count is just going to put you off, check the thing you're doing. So if I type in Breath of the Wild...
Yeah.
Fuck. I clicked 2 by accident. The category for Breath of the Wild has 626 viewers.
Okay, wow.
Right, if you open that category, the first 3 people one of them has like 200, 120, 110 viewers. So that's already 400 of those viewers on 3 of the top streams.
Yeah, and the rest of them are sporadically
24, 18, 18, 16, 13, 11. All the way at the bottom here, you're averaging 1 because it's saturated by... The reason you might think that's a lot of viewers, but those viewers are only there because the streamer they watch has decided to play it that day. It's worth looking at stuff like that. And if I look at something like Valhalla, which only just came out... It has 65,000 viewers. Yeah.
Jeez.
The top streamer is a Korean streamer. 11,000, basically 12,000 viewers on him. Then 10,000, then 3,400, 3.2, 3.2, 2.8, 1.5. Like, it's important to look at those things if that's what you're worried about. Terraria is really good because, like, you can jump into anyone's Terraria stream and you're not having anything ruined or spoiled or... like, it's not got a story per se, and that has 397 viewers. And it's pretty even spread. There's not a lot of people with one viewer in this category. Oh wait, I've just hit them. There's quite a few, but it's a better category. It's more inviting, I feel, and also you hit a wider audience, which is good. So I don't mind. Yeah, definitely look at those. Also, if you're gonna check your insights, don't check them right after your stream. They're really funny. They don't quite.
Yes, they don't update, do they?
Well, they do, but they're like more estimates before they've actually calculated the data.
Yeah.
So I suggest just checking them the next day. They say half an hour. They always change the next day because, as Fane was saying to me last night, I checked my average viewer after that raid stream for that stream, and I was like, oh, cool. I've got my average viewers to 1.7.
Yeah.
Or 1.8. It was one of them. The next day it was 1.9, and that was because the next day in the 30-day period, the first day had dropped off. And it all shifted over, which meant my average went up. So always check them the next day.
Okay.
It makes you feel better.
Yeah, okay.
I managed to get average of 2 yesterday. Now. So
nice.
my channel average is 2. If I get an average of 3, I'm an affiliate.
And you can start making money from it.
Kind of. You need to make £100 to be able to actually draw money out from Twitch.
Yes, yeah, I think Fane told me about that.
But as a start, I was also looking.
It is a start. You're on your way.
Are you still on that channel analytics bit?
I can be. 2 seconds. Yep, I'm still there now.
If you go to achievements, they've basically made like almost like the Minecraft achievement guide tree, which basically guides you through what to do. And it gives you like path to affiliate, so it like tells you what things you're doing and what things you've done right. Rewards you on them. So like I got reach 50 followers and get 5 people chatting at the same time. I've got 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
But if I get that 5 out of 5, I've hit that community target. My path to affiliate is completely complete, except for average viewers.
Yeah.
You also need to stream for 8 hours to be an affiliate.
Yeah, I know. I just saw.
Do you know how many I streamed?
Probably bloody like I'm gonna say in the 30 hours mark. No, way more than that actually, because you stream for like 7 hours a time. Go on, how many?
65.
Woo! Okay.
Out of 8.
Wow.
I also checked path to partner. You need to stream on 12 different days in a month, and you need to stream for 25 hours. 25 hours,
which you've already done.
I've streamed so far 16 days this month.
Yeah.
I've streamed for 65 hours this month. The only thing...
get that average of 75 viewers, though.
Yeah, and it's telling me here I'm 1.85, but I'm not, because I'm definitely 2. Because my channel analytics tell me I'm 2.
Yeah.
If you go onto your channel analytics...
Yep.
You're kidding me. Cookie. Finish it and then talk.
That's disgusting. You did this, Eve. You did this.
If you go onto your actual channel, if you like scroll down, you can see things like where do my views come from, followers, random people, other channel pages. Did they come from other channels? I'll tell you that. I'll tell you what were your streams during that period, which means you can kind of say, yo,
4% of my views are coming from Turkey. Nice.
Mine. It also tells you like what streams you did during that period, which means you can say like, oh, that game really performs badly, which is cool. It tells you what your top clips are. It tells you what categories that your viewers like to watch. So this isn't even stuff that you've played. This is stuff that they typically watch. On here, I've got Pokemon Emerald, Pokemon Heart Gold, Pokemon Platinum, Divinity Original Sin, Just Chatting, and other. And most of those come from Dan Dastardly and Baron Spatula, just because that one stream's messed my analytics slightly. Yeah. It also tells you how many engagements you get on your push notifications, how many people are actually seeing them and clicking them. Do you want a tip?
Yeah, go on.
when you launch your stream, you should always have Stream Manager open on a tab.
Okay.
If you go into your Stream Manager,
yep, I'm here.
If you then click in Quick Actions, Edit Stream Info, you'll see there's a section that says Go Live Notification.
Yes. Okay.
You can't do that in Streamlabs, but when you do that, that's the push notification people get on their phone. Nice, so you can I suggest customizing it every stream, and that instead of being like Geoidus has gone live, like people are literally not going to click that. If you say, hey, I'm close to reaching a goal, come hang out with me and help me out and stuff, like more people are likely to do it.
Nice.
And it tells me how many engagements I get, which is cool. And that's one thing that needs to be built into Streamlabs for me, is I want that option. That needs to be
definitely. That sounds good.
But yeah, like, I'm loving Twitch. I need
to make some sort of like HUD layout, something like that, so that my streams are looking a little bit.
I got mine from the Streamlabs store for free.
Okay, cool.
You can literally on Streamlabs go to Marketplace, search for like the overall themes, and put it to free assets, and just search. I managed to find one that was animated that was free. So like when I'm in my starting soon, like the little geometric shapes in the background are like fading in and out and moving and stuff, so it just looks less static, which is quite cool. I like it a lot. But I know that streaming is rewarding, because when I do a stream with Eve and she goes, that was a really good stream, I'm like, somebody who doesn't really come from stream culture, who doesn't like I spent so many years on Twitch being that guy who's like kappa lol lol omega pogchamp, stuff like that. It's a community that's quite specific, and Eve didn't come from that, but she can now appreciate streams in a way that's like, that was really fun because I had people talking to me and I got to communicate back to them whilst we play a game, and we all got to do that. And I think if Eve is seeing that, hopefully other people are, which is good. So we'll just absolutely smash.
What do you search by on the store?
I don't know if I can do it whilst I'm recording. What we'll do is we'll probably end up this episode, George. We're getting to about an hour 20, and then I'll quickly show you that.
Cool.
Yeah,
we talked about a lot of the past today.
Maybe the future is next.
Ooh, maybe.
We normally do the present. We did the past. Around Christmas, we maybe do the presents, and then we can do the future.
Oh, I like that. Maybe we could do it in the same room. Christmas.
I don't know. We'll have to see about that. I don't know what the fuck's going on at Christmas. It's just difficult, isn't it? Like,
yeah, to be fair.
Podcasting alone is going to be a bit...
Yeah, it's going to be a bit... Actually, you know what? I'll still have my...
You might have to be... Yeah, but you might have to be the one editing it and everything.
Oh, that's a point, yeah.
Are you alright, Eve?
I just suddenly see bin.
Do you want me to just like...
Just... douche.
Eve, nothing's getting around this head.
There's a little gap just down here. Just like...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about Christmas. It might just be that just because I have to take a break over Christmas, which would suck. But with COVID, realistically, Christmas is only going to be about a month. Like,
yeah,
I had to come back early January and stuff. So
yes,
but just to see. But that's fine. I'm not even gonna. It's the hardest thing. I'm not gonna be able to stream. If I get. I kind of could.
That I might just try streaming straight from my PS4.
So okay,
taking that with me.
I used to do that. It's not the most reliable thing in the world, I'll be honest.
No,
but it does work, and I might have a PS5. And even if I don't, I'll take it home and I'll just play some games like that on the headset late at night. Bam, bam, bosh, just like this. It's gonna be a bit shitty, but you know what? Whatever. Who cares? It's only for a month, and then I can do my stream manager from my phone. You can open Stream Manager through the Twitch app on your phone and read the chat that way, and also organize stuff. If you were ever planning on doing raids as well, George, that's where you do it. And that quick action, you click raid, you search for the person, find them, click raid, it readies it, and then you have to press launch. One thing I noticed as well, just before we end up, somebody told me, and I was on a channel that raided another channel, and he said, can you please refresh your page, because raid views don't count as views for me. If you refresh, you're actually on my channel as opposed to watching me through someone else's channel. So if you do that, I get the views. And I thought that was really interesting. That I'd never heard that before, and how many people probably aren't doing it. So when I raid now, I say, please do this, because like it helps them. But I'm aware again that a lot of people are just lurking for me, so they're probably not there to hear that. But it's worth trying. Fane actually jumped in and chatted to him for a little bit, which I thought was really nice. I saw that.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, mate, I'm just over from Luke's raid," and he was like, "Oh, sorry, like cozy."
I'm sorry, Lyco.
I'm sorry, but yeah, Christmas, whatever it holds, we'll just have to see.